Hi there, hope you've been doing well. Today is day 14 of the 15-minute creative journaling challenge, and today's prompt is paint. So I already have my paint and water and all of that out, and I had this paper, which is watercolor paper by the way. I did an art journal spread and I just added this using tape into my journal, so I have like the other side of that, and I'm going to be using this page to be doing my painting on because the paper is meant for paint. Anyways, I choose a color to work with, and I start off with this teal color, but it kind of dried out and there was like no paint. I'm using acrylic paint by the way, so yeah, once it's dry there's really nothing you can do about it. So I end up having to ditch that color and then I go for another color instead, and it's this like nice deep green color, and I just paint a little circle with it. Anyway, so for the spread, what I'm going to be doing is just painting a bunch of circles in different colors around the page, and then I'll be writing like recent life events in there. I'm gonna be honest, but for me life has been really going well for some reason. Like I just feel like everything good that has been happening so quickly that I never even have the time to realize everything is happening at the same time. It's just like they say, when it rains it pours, because it's pouring and I'm literally soaking. So yeah, I just make these little circles with acrylic paint, and I'm going to be writing my blessings in there. And it's also a nice thing for me to do so that I can realize how privileged I am and how grateful I should be for everything good that's been happening. And also in the future, if I do end up coming back to this page, I can remember how nice everything was at this point, and how privileged I was and how happy I was and all the good things I had. So like yeah, I paint these little blobs in random shapes, and I'm not gonna lie, I don't paint, especially in my journal. I don't really like painting because it's a bit of a mess and you have to wait for it to dry, and I really just don't like it. So the last I painted in my journal was like over a year ago, and that's also because I forced myself to do it. So this was a more light-hearted way of painting in my journal and also documenting what I want to document. And it was super fun making these little blobs and shapes because it doesn't really require any brain power, if that makes sense. Like I can just do whatever I want to without having to think too much. So I add this purple line at the top just for the title, and then I add the black paint in the middle last because black is kind of dark and I didn't want it to ruin my paint water. So yeah, now that I have my circles done, I have to wait for it to dry, and honestly I waited a really long time for it to dry, but I stopped recording and I went away to do other things. So my total time of recording was still 15 minutes, which means I did stick to the 15-minute challenge if you don't count the part where the paint dried. Anyways, I pull out this gold marker I had and I just doodle things around, which is ironic because my doodles come out really ugly despite the fact that I can actually draw very nice. I don't know why, but I just absolutely suck at doodling and I try not to do it as much as possible. And then I just add this strip of washi tape along the inner corner there because I used normal masking tape and it looked kind of plain and boring. And it's kind of cute because that tape had colorful droplets on it, which symbolizes paint. Anyways, I come back and this thing is still not dried, so it was only the top two which was still a bit wet, which is weird because they were the ones which were painted first, but I guess it's because they were a bit more watery than the others. So I just take tissue and I just like wipe off the excess, which was like taking forever to dry, and I just make sure everything is dry before I go in and do my writing. So I just write in different directions all over the page in my black marker. And yeah, that's basically all I do for the spread. For the black one, I write in my white gel pen, and I absolutely love how simple yet really adorable the spread came out. And see you tomorrow for the last day of the challenge. Bye.